Hello, good morning everyone. Today we are going to see software testing unit 2 session 15. In the previous topic we have studied the concept integration testing and methods of integration testing and integration testing as a phase. In today's topic we'll study about the defect bash. Defect bash is an ad hoc testing. Ad hoc testing means where there is no proper planning to conduct the testing. There is no proper formal or the structure to conduct that type of testing. So defect testing is carried out based on the tester's capability, based on the tester's knowledge. Without referring any document, specification or SRS, the testers will conduct this test. Defect bash is an ad hoc testing where people performing different roles in an organization and test the product together at the same time. So it is one type of ad hoc testing where people performing different roles in an organization test the product. So as I told you, there is no proper structure to conduct this type of testing. So whoever is involved in the organization, those all are going to apply the testing on that. They are going to test the system. When the software testing performed without proper planning and documentation, it is said to be ad hoc testing. Testing is carried out with the knowledge of the tester about the application, and the tester tests randomly without following any specification or requirement. So as I told you, this type of testing is fully based on the knowledge about the testers, about the application, and without referring any documents and all. What is to be tested is left to an individual's decision and creativity. So what has to be tested based on the situation and the creativity decision will be decided when you are conducting this type of testing. Defect bash brings together plenty of good practices that are popular in testing industry. So this type of testing also brings some benefits to the testing and for the product also, and most of the errors can be also minimized here. So first point, see, enabling people cross boundaries and test beyond assigned areas. So as there is no proper structure formal, so based on the situations and the creativity and the decisions, so the testing can be done beyond the assigned areas. So beyond the assigned areas, following their own logic, creativity, based on the situation, they perform the testing. Bringing different people performing different roles together in the organization for testing. So all those who are there in the organization, so most of them are going to involve in this testing, and everyone is going to perform this testing by using their system. Letting everyone in the organization use the product before delivery, yes. Allowing them to use the product before delivering to the organization. So the employees who are working in the organization, they are going to test that. Bringing fresh pair of eyes to uncover new defects. So when the person who tests the system, who has not at all seen the system and not at all worked on the system, so those we call it as fresh pair of eyes. So mostly the new person who is not seen the system and not used the system at all, then they can be the better person to find the defects and all. Bringing in people who have different levels of product understanding to test the product together randomly. So bringing the people who work in the organization may have different knowledge about different levels of testing. So whoever has the knowledge about the testing, different types of testing, they can perform here the testing in defect bash. Let testing does not wait for lack of time or time taken for documentation. So they are not going to wait for the documentation. They are going to start testing according to the knowledge requirements and so on. Enabling people to say system works, as well as enabling them to break the system. Yes. The people are not only going to test here from positive points. They are also going to test it from negative points, like positive testing, negative testing. So they are also going to test for both valid data and invalid data, whether the system works or whether the system breaks. Planned activities of defect batch. So not all the activities are unplanned of defect batch. There are also some planned activities of defect batch before conducting this test. So which are those planned activities? First one, choosing the frequency and duration of the defect batch. So how many rounds of defect batch testing you are going to perform? How many rounds of particular type of testing you are going to conduct, that will be decided, and duration, how much time you are going to conduct this defect batch. Selecting the right product build. As selecting the right product build, so quality product must be selected here properly. Communicating the objective of each defect batch to everyone. As communication of the defects with everyone, like purpose and objective has to be clear to everyone, and areas of focus to be communicated. So which are the areas to be communicated, and defects that can be found easily by testing team. So the defects which are occurring or occurred has to be communicated with the team. Setting up and monitoring the lab. So setting up and monitoring the lab. So before conducting this testing, you need to set up the lab, so that set up all the software, hardware, whatever is needed, like right configurations are needed and what resources are needed to conduct the testing. Easy installation and setup help, this all has to be done. And monitor all resources. Okay, resources like how much RAM, disk, CPU, whether network is needed. So these all things are needed for setting up and monitoring the lab. Next, taking actions and fixing issues. Yes, once the defects are detected, or some issues or errors have been notified, then discussion has to be made and some actions has to be taken on that, and what are the solutions to fix that. Like the duplicate defects may come occurring, so how can it be fixed? Codes can be reviewed here and inspected. So communicate to all users on defects and come up with the solution and how to fix those. Optimizing the effort involved in defect batch. So here there will be also calculated the efforts involved in the defect batch. So how many days of people they are working, how many types of testing conducted, how many errors. So based on that, the efforts will be also calculated. There is defect batch types like feature batch, integration batch, system or product batch. So feature batch means more focus will be on the features of the product, and integration batch means more focus will be on the integration, where when you integrate more modules, that time how that product behaves or the modules behaves. And there is system or product, complete system product batch. So these are, you can conduct feature batch, integration batch, system product, or all together you can conduct. Next topic we'll see system testing. So when you're going to carry out the system testing, so you already seen this diagram in the integration testing. So this is first one is a unit testing. Then when you combine two units, it becomes function. When you combine two functions, it becomes a module. And when you combine two modules and when you perform the testing, it becomes integration testing. So now system testing is where a complete and integrated software is tested. So system testing is like testing the whole system together with all the modules and with all the integrated software. It is a system testing. So system testing is a type of testing to check the behavior of a complete and fully integrated software. So after integration testing, you are going to apply the system testing, where fully integrated software is tested, and after that you can test acceptance testing to verify that it meets specified requirements based on the software requirement specification. So to conduct the system testing, software requirement document is referred. So whatever the requirements have been specified in the documents, whether the system matches those requirements or no. Actually, the system is working according to those requirements or no. So the actual requirements should match with those expected requirements. Then that will be tested in the system testing with fully integrated software. System testing as a whole is functionally complete and satisfies both functional and non-functional testing. Now in the system testing, the more focus will be on functional and non-functional testing. So there are many various types of functional testing and also various types of non-functional testing. Both will be tested in a system testing. So the complete system you are going to test with all the functional requirements and non-functional requirements, because this system testing is the last chance for the testers to test the system. After that, the system will be given to the clients for testing. See, for example, during the process of manufacturing a ballpoint pen, the cap, the body of the pen, the tail, the ink cartridge and the ball point are produced separately and unit tested separately. So all the parts of the ballpoint pen, like the cap, the body, the tail, the ink cartridge, are produced separately and unit wise they are tested separately whether they are working properly or not. When 2 or more units are ready, they are assembled and integration testing is performed. Is when 2 or more units like the ballpoint cartridge or the tail is ready, then those will be combined and assembled and they are assembled and tested. When the complete pen is integrated, system testing is performed. As when all full pen is integrated, that all parts are attached, connected, then you can perform system testing. Same is with the software also. When all the components or the modules of the system are fully integrated, and then you are going to perform system testing, that is non-functional testing and functional testing. What is non-functional testing and what is functional testing and non-functional testing? Functional testing involves testing a product's functionality and features. So functional testing is nothing but testing the behavior of the product, that is all functionalities and features of the product. So what are the features we have decided it is working according to that or no. And non-functional testing means testing the product's quality factors. So quality of the product is also very important. If the quality of the product is not good, then there are no chances of the customer can purchase it. So for software also there must be the quality. Then the quality should not allow the customers to wait for a longer time. The response from the system must be fast. So whichever features they are accessing, those features must be accessed fast. These all criteria comes in the non-functional testing, and many other criteria are there. We'll see in the further classes. Functional testing is concerned with what the system does, whereas non-functional testing is concerned with how the system does what it does. So functional testing is about what is the functionality, what that system does, what we have wanted, and non-functional testing, how that functionality is meeting, how that work is being done. Test cases. As for system testing, you need to design the test cases, because full complete system you are going to test. So which are the main parts of the system? Based on that, the test cases has to be designed. You need to refer here the software requirement documents. Independent test design, test system, independent test team. Then You need here independent testing for system testing, means the team which has not involved in the previous testing. So it must be a fresh, a new independent team which is conducting this last type of testing, system testing. Fresh pair of eyes, as I told you, independent testing means fresh pair of eyes who is not involved in other types of testing. Those who are newly testing the system, those are newly using the system. Analyze and reduce the risk of releasing the product. As before releasing the product in the market, analyze what are the risks involved in that and whether it is possible to release in the market, and what are the risks if we release the product in the market. That has to be analyzed. Last chance for testing team and make ready the product for acceptance testing. Functional testing typically involves 5 steps. The identification of functions that the software is expected to perform. Okay, identification of function. Yes, functional testing means most parties you need to identify the functions of that software and what it is expected to do. Next, creation of input data based on the function specifications. So creation of input data, so you need to understand what input you are going to supply to those functions. Next, based on the functional specifications, find out the output of the function size. What output those functions are going to give, that you are going to analyze. Then execution of the test case. So at the beginning only you are going to design the test case and keep, and at the end you are going to execute those test cases. You are going to run and check out what are the errors in those test cases. Then comparison of actual and expected outputs. As you already designed the test cases in that test case format, now you are going to run and you are going to see the output and you are going to compare that with the actual output with expected output, which are already specified in the test cases. So these are the various types of functional testing: unit testing, business, vertical, deployment testing, integration testing, interface testing, system testing, regression testing, beta testing, smoke testing, and sanity testing. So only some of the testing are there for your syllabus, some of them are not there. Next, non-functional testing. Check how much readiness of your system. How ready is your software? As I told you, there must be also the good quality of the software. The response time is very important. The functions, the features which you have developed, those are should be easy to understand, easy to operate for the users, easy to understand for the new users, and training is needed less. And these all points will be considered here in a non-functional testing. Non-functional testing tests the characteristics of the software, like how fast the response is, for what time does the software takes to perform any operation, how much time it is taking to perform any particular operation. So these are the various types of non-functional testing: availability testing, baseline testing, compatibility testing, compliance testing, configuration testing, documentation testing, adherence, ergonomics, interoperability, installation testing, and load testing. So few testings are available for your syllabus that we'll see. Here also the remaining: localization testing, maintainability testing, operational readiness testing, performance testing, recovery testing, reliability testing, resilience testing, security, scalability, trace testing, usability, and volume testing. So as I told you, few are available for your syllabus. Those we'll see in the next sessions. So this system testing is the center part, means where all functional and non-functional testing are involved, and together it is a system testing. Next topic we'll see difference between functional and non-functional testing. So involves, okay, functional testing product focuses more on it involves product features and functionality, and non-functional functional testing involves product quality factors. And here in functional testing product behavior will be tested, and in non-functional testing behavior as well as experience. So to conduct non-functional testing, the expert people are involved, the people who are experienced in testing or all types of testing, those people are involved here. Result conclusion, simple steps to return to check expected results, and huge data collected and analyzes. To analyze the result, the huge data must be collected and analyzed properly, like how was the previous response and how is the current response, how was the previous performance, how is the current performance. So this data, huge data, has to be collected in a non-functional testing, because you are increasing here the quality of the product. Next, results varies due to product implementation, resources and configurations. Results may vary due to the product implementation, the way they are implemented, whereas in a non-functional testing, results may vary due to the product implementation. Sometimes the resources may be not available, or sometimes we may use different resources. Configurations may be different, like various 2 GB RAM, 3 GB RAM, 4 GB RAM, 8 GB RAM. So various resources and configurations may be different. Testing focuses on defect detection here. So more in a functional testing is to find out the defect and solve it, whereas more here focuses on quality of product, how to increase good quality of product. Knowledge required here is product and domain. So to conduct functional testing, product knowledge is very necessary, and the domain knowledge, based on which domain that product is, like bank domain, insurance domain, and so on. So here product knowledge is necessary, domain knowledge is necessary, design, architecture, and statistical skills. So these all knowledge must be there to conduct non-functional testing. That's why we need here the experienced persons. Failures normally due to the code. It fails normally due to the code, because if you have written wrong logic or the wrong coding, and it fails due to architecture, design, and then coding. Yes, if the architecture and the design of the product is also wrong, then it may also fail there. Next type, testing phase. So unit testing, component testing, integration, and system, this all comes under the functional testing. So some part you are going to test here. In system testing, full system you are going to test, and it comes under the system testing. Test case repeatability, yes, repeated many times, because you are going to conduct it in a various types of testing. Repeated only in case of failures and for different configurations. Yes, this is repeated only when you want to use different configurations, like if you want to use a Pentium 3 processor or Pentium 4 processor, or 2 GB RAM or 4 GB RAM. So in this case, you need to repeat it. Configuration, one time setup for a set of test cases. Yes, only once you need to set up the configuration, and you can conduct the testing of test cases. Here configuration changes for each test case. Yes. As I told you, you are increasing the quality of the product, so configuration is very important here. So you need to keep on changing the configurations for different types of test cases. So here we have finished difference between functional and non-functional testing. Thank you.